Right then, are you one of those golfers who gets the ball in play off the tee, but when you've got your irons in your hand, it's a real issue that you don't hit the ball anywhere, so you're short, you're wide, and there's no control? Well, you're in luck. Today's Friday Fix, sponsored by Players Fuel, I'm going to show you how to hit your irons further, compress the ball better, and just rip your irons all day long. Right, so I'm out on the 9th fairway at Heron's Reach. I've hit a perfect tee shot into position. I've got 7 iron to the green, got about 160 to go to the flag, but far too often with golfers, I see this. That high, soft landing. I've got TrackMan out, so that one's only carried 123 yards, and it's just gone nowhere. So the big thing I see with a lot of golfers is they're quite aware of where they want to be at impact. They know that they want to have kind of that forward shaft lean, the weight into that left side, compress the golf ball and really get the ball very powerful, quick ball speed off the face and hit the ball a long way. But the problem is, even though a lot of golfers know that they'd like to be in this position at impact, unfortunately more of what you see is kind of back here. Lots of loft, not really taking a divot. They might take a little bit of grass. But they know with the top players, more of what they see is that divot after the golf ball. And like I said, a really powerful golf shot. So there's kind of a couple of really important movements you need to be able to do if that's going to happen. So what we're going to work on is in your backswing, from your address position, all we're going to feel is that right hip turns back behind you, and that's going to help keep the pressure a little bit more centered and stop you moving off the golf ball. Because the further you move off, obviously the further you've got to move back. And as a general rule, the less moving parts, the less chance of something going wrong. But once we get to that position, then what we want to be able to feel is that we press into our left foot and shift into that left side. Now, again, I know most golfers understand that they should do that, but what happens with them is as they shift into that lead leg and the handle comes in front of the golf ball, that club face is pointing way over to the right. So as much as they'd like to do that, they can't do that because that shot would just go over to the right. And even if the strike was good, there's no control. So the only way they can square the club face up is by backing off, letting the club head overtake the hands. And again, that's going to get that low point behind, add lots of loft and struggle. So the first thing I want you to work on is feeling that right hip turns back and that you shift into the left side. And do that without a golf ball to begin with, because I want you to really feel that you'd be touching the ground after the golf ball, getting the club to move down. Now, the final piece of the jigsaw is when you're at the top of your backswing, as you start to shift left, I want you to feel like you get the glove logo going a bit more to the sky. And what you'll see is the club goes down behind me. Then as my body turns out the way, we can see we're going to have that forward shaft lead. So it's going to deal off the club, and it's really important, I think, certainly kind of 7 iron down, maybe 6 iron down. Maybe not as exaggerated with the longer irons, which a lot of golfers struggle with. But if you can get there, get to the top, as you shift left, get those knuckles to the sky and turn out the way, that's really going to create much more of that position. And if I'm being honest, a great example of it is Jon Rahm. Just won the US Open, fine style, but what you would see with Jon is at the top of his backswing, he's already there, even though he's quite short in his backswing. And what he's able to do from that position is really press into that left side, turn out the way. And when I was watching it, the final round, he had ball speed of 151 mile an hour with 5 iron. Now, yes, he's swinging hugely quickly, but he's de-lofting the club and really kind of crushing and compressing that ball. So Gonna get a feel for that as some practice swings. And we can see straight away there how that divot is much further ahead of where the golf ball would be. And importantly, we're taking a divot because most golfers don't take a divot at all, but if they do, it's back here. So we're now going to set up to the golf ball, put those little bits into play and see what we do. Straight at the target, a much lower trajectory. And that one about 15 feet short. We can see I didn't take a huge divot, but the divot was ahead of the golf ball. And I've gone from, that one normalized would have been 165. So we've gone from 123, almost like hitting a flop shot, to a 165 yard bullet. So let's go one more of those. Feels good, feels really powerful. Over the golf ball. And again, just turning over in the wind. But again, a lovely strike. Feels like I'm miles ahead with my hands. I know I'm not actually that far in front, but if you can work on getting that hip back so you don't shift too much, then into that lead leg, glove logo more to the sky, that's how you can get into that nice powerful position and really start hitting your irons further and compressing the ball better than ever before. Right then guys, so you could see there a couple of little movements in how you're moving your weight around, or maybe not moving your weight around in the backswing, but then getting that kind of wrist position working better allows the club to come back with your hands ahead, de-lofting the golf club. Really a much more powerful strike, more speed off the face, which gives you more distance with a better flight. But like I said, today's Friday fix, as ever, powered by Players Fuel. That's going to help take your iron game to the next level. Right, so hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's also another video just there that I think you'll enjoy, possibly help you with your game, but hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.